Okay students, today we are going to start a new chapter of ICSE class 10 biology. The chapter is genetics. So this is an introduction of this chapter. This chapter is divided into 5 parts. In this part we will just study certain terms which is in this chapter. After that we will continue in the next parts. Okay, so let's start. So first let us know what is genetics. Genetics is the scientific study of heredity. Now what do you mean by heredity? Heredity is the transfer of characters from the parent to the offspring. We know that when a child is born, the characteristics of child means certain characteristics it matches with the of parent. Okay, so that is known as heredity. Now who is the father of genetics? The father of genetics is Gregor Johann Mendel, and there are certain diseases which are caused due to the genes. They are known as genetic disease. So these are hemophilia and thalassemia. Okay, now what are the terms? The first term in this chapter is genes. What are genes? As we have already studied in the cell division chapter on the structure of chromosome, in that chapter we studied that genes are the specific parts in a DNA segment. If we will see, this is the DNA segment. So in this DNA, if we consider this particular segment, okay, or this particular part, so if this particular part is functional, means it is involved in certain characteristic of the body, then this specific part is called a gene. Okay, so it determine the hereditary characteristics. Now what is heredity? Heredity is the transmission of traits. Traits are the characteristics which are determined by genes. Okay, the genes which determine certain characteristics of our body. Let us take an example. Suppose the eye color. Okay, for a specific eye color a certain gene is involved, so that is a trait. Okay, like the height of our body, whether we are tall or whether we are short, so for that also certain genes are involved, so that is also a trait. So that trait, the transmission of that trait from one generation to the another is called heredity. Okay, next is trait, as I told you now, and the last is variation. Variation is the differences among individuals. In case of human species, each person has its own unique characteristics which is different from another person, so that differences is known as variation. Okay, so these were certain terms which we have studied in this chapter. Now in the next part we will start with the allele, the concept of allele. Okay, so thank you for watching. We will meet in the next part.